In January 1722, a fleet more than 200 pirates strong boldly followed Captain Bartholomew Black Bart Roberts's flagship, the Royal Fortune, into Ouida Harbor, a neutral African slave trading port with international presence in what would become coastal Benin. There, the pirates forced the kidnapped musicians on board to play louder as they rounded up nearly a dozen slave ships anchored in the harbor. The captains of those ships, who were on land negotiating for enslaved captives, watched from the shore with wary eyes as their crews on board the ships surrendered one by one, rather than face death. When the captains rowed to the pirates to negotiate for their ships, the pirates extorted them. The captains could either pay 8 pounds of gold apiece to get them back, or they could watch their ships burn right there in the harbor. To show them he meant business, Black Bart ordered his pirates to coat the decks with pitch to ensure a quick and all-consuming flame. The captains agreed to pay. By this point, Black Bart's fleet of pirates had taken over 400 ships, assassinated a governor, and caused tens of millions of damage in today's U.S. dollars. As they terrorized the coast of West Africa, they brought the Atlantic slave trade to a standstill. Although 8 pounds of gold was an exorbitant amount even for captains in the Atlantic slave trade, it wasn't theirs. It belonged to the companies in Europe that had sent them. Seeing how the pirates had destroyed so many ships already, the captains figured the shareholders of these companies might prefer to lose gold than the time it would take to build replacements. To avoid accusations of pocketing the sum and to facilitate the insurance reimbursement process, the slave ship captains asked Black Bart on the Royal Fortune for a receipt to take back home. The pirate captain joined his crew in a roar of laughter, then realized the slave traders were serious. He shrugged and picked up a quill, pressed his tongue into his cheek, and created a note for each shipowner back in Europe to assure them that their captains had indeed been extorted by the gentlemen of fortune. As soon as the pirates collected the gold, they headed south to Cape Lopez, in modern-day Gabon. The estuaries there were perfect places to refresh their ships, count their winnings, and stay out of the watchful eye of the fanatical British naval captain who had been hunting them for more than a year and a half. Captain Chaloner Ogle was in charge of 2 man-of-war, the Swallow and Weymouth, and tasked by the king himself to do whatever it took to end this threat to British shipping in Africa. British settlers in the Americas demanded enslaved Africans at far higher rates than British slave traders could traffic them, and settlers of other empires in the Americas echoed these sentiments. The first European nation to solve the pirate problem could emerge as the next global superpower. Both the English and Dutch clamored for this coveted position, and each bemoaned that the state of West Africa was keeping them from it.